Ever since I was 11, I knew I wanted to be a bodybuilder or,
From a magazine.
from a magazine. I liked the way that Frank Zane looked when I was 11 years old. I don't know what year that would have been, probably in the 60s. But he looked, he looked great, and that's what I wanted to look like.
Yeah.
When I used to train really heavy, I used to do a lot more stuff like that, try to get,
Yeah.
I just kind of, I'm just trying to train to keep what I have and not lose too much,
So tell us, let's go back to the 90s. You were competing in the 90s, late 80s?
80s and 90s, yeah, 90.
Mid-90s was his heyday. That was like when he was really...
Midnight 95.
Yeah, 92 to 96 maybe?
Yeah.
He was like Dorian Yates, Lee Priest.
Yates was big back then.
Yates was probably, that was right before Ronnie Coleman came on the scene. And then Ronnie started beating him and kind of took over for about 8 years, I believe.
Okay, so let's backtrack to supplements. So back then it was ephedrine, ECA stacks.
Protein, they did like liquid protein, didn't you?
Yeah, protein. They didn't have much
What were you
protein
doing?
shakes, I remember.
Creatine was big back then
Liquid
too.
was way back
Way
in the
back in the
70s.
70s, okay. You did way back then. I would think like
whey proteins was there.
Creatine.
They
didn't have the
they had
pre-workout,
milk
so
and,
like
and animal protein back
yeah, and
then.
then the animal packs were big, the vitamin packs.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else I used to use back then that he would have used too. But those were like the main supplements. Like you had like the lifter packs. Beverly Internationals was
liver.
big.
They were
their liver and
their liver pills.
what else
were
you did?
big.
Liver and mass, I think it was. Or aminos.
Aminos, yeah.
Yeah, and then he did like carnitine. They had like this one called
Carnitine, yeah.
Quad carn. It was like a test.
L-carnitine.
Yeah, it was like a test carnitine with a fat burner.
Yeah.
I used that to lean out my last couple of shows.
But yeah, I know he was big. You were like, cause you were on their workout plans too.
Yeah,
like, he was big with Beverly. Yeah.
Yeah, Beverly was my main company back then. So.
Well, it sparked my interest because, with your knowledge from back then, people don't realize what you guys did back then.
Yeah, the subs were not nearly intense.
There was no, it's not the fitness industry wasn't.
No.
It was
it
much underground.
It was raw.
It was raw,
very raw,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, the look, the V taper is coming back. The smaller stomachs are coming back to style.
Everyone wants to do more like aesthetic and what's the word? They use like that physique, not necessarily bodybuilding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's the one that Sadiq is in, like classic physique and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the big shoulders and big arms is not going no
That
more.
one, yeah. Well, though
that's what
still,
it is right now.
That's what it is right now. But I think these, like what they call them, like the guts that guys have from like the growth hormone and the insulin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of like, just distorted looking a little bit. They almost look like, I don't know, like cartoons a little bit versus like the Frank Zanes back in the day and trying to think of more.
Actually,
of the
that's when I got started. I was 11 years old, and I went to a friend's house, and his dad had a Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Okay.
And Frank Zane was on the cover, and I told my buddy, Paul Hansen was his name. I was 11. That's when I was pitching. I was a pitcher when I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
And he was my catcher.
Okay.
When I was 11 years old, and I told him back then I want to look like that someday, and he thought I was. He said, "Well, whatever you want."
Yeah.
But that's what that inspired me to. So ever since I was 11, I knew I wanted to be a bodybuilder or
from a magazine.
From a magazine. I liked the way that Frank Zane looked when I was 11 years old. I don't know what year that would have been. Probably in the 60s. But he looked, he looked great, and that's what I wanted to look like. So.
Magazines were big back then. That was if you're talking about social media back then, that was
social media.
That's how everybody learned things,
How did you so it's easier to get your protein intake. Like you throw like 4 scoops and then you're almost there, and you eat some steak and then you're there. Right. So with the like, how did you get your protein intake back in the day? Well, you're talking about like 200 plus grams a day.
Yeah.
At least, right?
Yeah, I would eat chicken and in the breakfast I'd have, like, now I've been doing this for forever.
Yeah.
On my way to work, I drink a protein drink.
Yeah.
On my way to work, and then after a workout, I drink a protein or. But I carried my lunch everywhere I went back when I was competing.
Yeah.
So I would have 5, 6, 7 meals in my lunch bag, and if there
all
was
in Tupperware.
Yeah, I had Tupperware. Everybody used to say it was crazy because every 3 hours I'd be eating something.
Yeah.
So
fish,
that's
chicken.
how I did. Yeah.
Tupperware. Yeah. That's the real meal prep. People think they're meal prepping nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not. Back then it was like you actually had to.
You had to.
Nowadays it's so easy. Like I go to Giant Eagle, which is our grocery store, and I buy pre-made chicken breasts that are right. I just go up the counter and give me like 6 of those. They're already made. All you got to just heat them up.
Oh, really?
And then you got rice bags or broccoli bags that all I do is throw them in the microwave for 4 minutes, and boom, that's 2 meals right there. Yeah. Like as far as like a side or whatnot. So it's so much easier than like used to be. Like you'd have to cook all day and have all this stuff basically in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's gotten a lot more.
Big fridge.
Yeah.
Got a lot more.
I used to eat a lot of eggs for breakfast.
Yeah. Eggs and oatmeal.
Eggs and oatmeal. Yeah.
Wow.
I would have 1 yolk for 4 egg whites. That's how I.
One milk and 4 egg whites.
I eat all the eggs.
1 yolk and 4 egg whites. That's how I would do it, and then have oatmeal, and that's one of my ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I kind of switch. You just got to switch it up and down, around
get bored,
it gets very
bland. Yeah.
And that it's surviving that blah time.
Mm-hmm. That's usually when, in all honesty, you separate the people who are going to make it and the people that don't. It's a lot of it's in those times whenever like everyone's like going out drinking or going out binge eating. And when I say binge eating, I'm just having cheat meals or whatever. But they're at having, like we're doing today, pizza and whatnot. If you're competing for or getting ready for a show or getting ready for a photo shoot, those are the moments where you're like tempted to eat that or whatever, or late nights and you're like laying and watching TV and you're like, oh, I'd love some ice cream right now. Granted, there are healthier options now with Halo and Arctic Zero and stuff like that weren't there before. But back in the day, it was Breyers and Haagen-Dazs, and Klondike bars were always like a temptation, so to speak. Your results, like we talked about earlier, are 80% diet, and rest. 20 to 30% of it, you could say, is the training.
I know when I was doing my personal training though, back